Got Jake, make sure he's centered. Okay, Scott Ritchie, you're up, then Jeremy Warner.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, Jake. So maybe you guys will outscore your opponent by 40.5 again, but if you don't, what are the good parts of that second half against Northwestern that maybe you feel like need to be repeated?
Well, let me gather my thoughts real quick. I think the best way to answer that question would be that we're just a team, like a skill. I think not every team has it, but the ability to come back from an errored half like we had. And I think one thing we need to get better at, just in terms of growth, is those runs that we let up. I know Coach was talking about after the game how that had happened in another game. I think it was Missouri, where there was like a 10-0 run or, one of those kind of runs, and just eliminating those. So I don't know if I answered your question as specific as you wanted, but I think, I think we showed that we have the ability to stay in a game or to come back into a game, even if it doesn't look like that. And if I didn't answer your question, if you wanted more a specific follow-up.
You're fine, but I do have a follow-up. Just what is about this team that, that you guys can, bounce back as well as you have been able to?
I think it's just the tenacity that, Coach Underwood kind of instills in us in practice, just kind of playing through his teachings and his methods of just being tough and nasty,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jacob, I kind of have an off-the-wall question. What goes into a floor slap?
A what?
A floor slap. When you guys slap the floor, what goes into that?
Oh, I mean, we was just hype. I asked Io after, like, what was the like what made him, kind of get us to do that. He was just like, I was hyped. We was lit. We was down 15, and we won by 20. We were up. We were rolling. It was juiced.
What's the emotion when you do that? And are you against that at all? Because I know some people don't like when people do it, but you guys all seem to be into it.
Oh, no, I'm not against it at all. I wasn't even really thinking much into it. And then I saw like one of the GIFs or like the replays of it. And I was looking, I was like, dang, like that looks tough to be dribbling down the court. You got everybody showing their teeth and slapping the floor. And we just came back from 15, now we're up 10. Like that's a lot. That's a lot to handle offensively.
Just one more. I know you guys have to create your own energy in these games. Is that part of it? And what was going on in the second half where you guys seemed like you had way more juice, as you called it?
Yeah, I mean, I think this season too is a lot about finding the it within yourself and within your team. So we were just kind of too casual and sleep, I guess, in the first half. It just was uncharacteristic across the board. Everyone can take some type of blame for it down the line. I forget the second part of your question. What was the?
Just like how were you guys in that second half? Like, how were you able to find that?
I think we definitely regrouped halftime. We got into the locker room and we're talking as a team, as we do, and we just know our capabilities. Like before we run onto the court before the game, we're like, look around, like we got some dogs, like this is us. So we just kind of had to come together in a way and just shake off the first half. It's a two-half game. Everyone has bad games, bad halves, bad plays, so it happens. But luckily, we were able to respond.
Thanks, Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jake, I was curious, what have you noticed about Trent Frazier as a defender? What makes him as good as he's been these last few years?
That's my boy. I always mess with him in practice that he's like a rat. And if he ever makes like a good play, like I'll come in his ear and like make little rat noises. And if he gets like a steal or something, he'll look at me and like, but but no, he's just like one of those guys who are, he's just built to play D. Like he's just slow, he's strong, he's a rat. He's just a rat. I'm glad he's on my team.
Is there anything, I mean, like, and it doesn't appear that he really ever gets tired. I mean, he'll play out there at like 100 miles an hour for quite a few minutes. Is there like a tone he sets or a message that sends to the other team that this guy is going to be out there for long stretches at really high energy?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Trent's one of those guys who probably never need to work out in their life and will always be ripped, like 3% body fat. He's a motor guy. He doesn't get tired. He doesn't like subbing out of practice, even if the drill's hard. And if we're doing a drill and you need 3 stops and you get the third one, but it's kind of a iffy play, he's like, nah, we're doing it again. Like, so I definitely think he like drops off and distributes that motorist mentality to other guys. And we got other guys with motor on the team too. But he's definitely one of our guys in that way.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jake, I think those of us who've had a chance to meet you have figured out that you're one of the older, more mature, intelligent guys on the team. And
Thank you.
I don't, yeah. Well, first of all, do you see yourself that way?
Yeah, I do. It's definitely interesting dynamic coming in as a I don't even know what year I am, in junior or senior or whatever it is, but it's interesting coming in, being new and being older, and then kind of growing from last year to this year. And I definitely would say that I'm a vet, literally and mentally. I've been through a lot of things. You know, I've been, you know, a starter. I've come off the bench. I've played a lot. I've not played a lot. So I've just experienced so much. You know, so I forget the last part of your question about what it or why it does something. What did you say?
Well, I wanted to know if, I mean, you don't want to impose too much on anybody that's 22 years old, but have the coaches asked you to be a leader in practice? Have they asked, I mean, is that something you do to yourself? Has anybody said, Jake, you're the smart, you know, environmental engineer. Can you be a leader of this team?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that I'm held to a standard where it is expected that I do the right thing. So I would say that I get criticized sometimes for thinking too much on the court, like try to really dissect and just beat people with my mind, which sometimes isn't the right thing to do. You know, you just got to play and go all out rather than you know, be the thinker that I am all the time. So yeah, I don't really know how to answer the full extent to your question. But yeah, I think I have high expectations to lead by example, do the right things on and off the court, things like that.
Well, I'll give you something specific. This will be the last one from me for the next in line, but it's a very strange time in America right now. And you have to maintain a focus on basketball, but you also have to be a citizen, and you have to spread that kind of focus, discipline, and maturity to your teammates. So how is it to balance those roles?
It's life. I don't even think too much into it. I'm very present. I'm aware that there's a lot of things happening, to be general. But that just is what it is. I have responsibilities I need to do. There's things that need to be handled. You guys just got to get it done.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jake, before the Northwestern game, were there any talks amongst you guys about doing some kind of movement or taking some kind of stand as a team?
In terms of like the national anthem?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, we've talked about it in our group chat. I don't want to put anything out there too early or something, but we're aware and whatnot. I don't want to say too much. We have talked about it though.
And then switching to Maryland, what have you kind of seen from them on film?
They play a lot of 5-out, guys that can all deck it. I'm not gonna give them anything on here that'll alert them to anything that we're gonna do. It's a good Big Ten basketball team. We have defensive assignments we gotta be tight on, but really the biggest thing for us, it's not even about Maryland, it's about us, and bringing what we brought in the second half in Northwestern in terms of just playing hard, energy, and get the win.
Hey, Jake, I appreciate your thoughtfulness here. I'm pretty sure looking at your bio, everywhere you've gone, you've been one of the guys, the main guys in basketball speaking, and now you're coming off the bench after having to sit for a year. How's that adaptation gone for you?
It's a process for sure, but I think everyone has a role, and whether, or to put it in a better way, everyone is the guy, in their own way. So I don't even get too caught up with anything really. But it is what it is, and I know and am learning more about what I need to do to solidify that. As a team too, we're learning things too. Coach was talking about habits and building upon good habits and solidifying them. So I think everyone has a role, and we can be really good, and we are really good if everyone can execute that to their best ability.
And I realize, your playing career is, not over, and things can change, but is this being what you are here and the success the team is having, is this part of why you're here? What you wanted?
To answer the question, yes, but can you repeat the nuances of your?
The team is really successful this year, and is this part of why you're here? Why you chose coming to Illinois? And
of course, playing basketball at the highest level and competing for, the biggest award at this level is definitely one of the reasons I came here. It's not even a complicated answer. Absolutely.
all right, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jacob, thanks for doing this. You've kind of had a roller coaster of a season in terms of just the way it's gone for you on an individual basis. What do you think the kind of key is for you to kind of finding that consistency as the Big Ten season kind of develops here?
It's a great question. I haven't gotten there yet I would say I haven't gotten there yet with like the answer, the solution. It's a process. It's a love-hate relationship. But I think it's just I've been in so many different situations and circumstances and have seen so much that I kind of have, like I said, I'm just trusting the process and just believing in myself as always and believing in the team. And I just have faith in coach and our teammates, myself, staff, all that. Everything gonna be all right.
Something that, you can correct me here if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming that your time in practice this season is just completely different, and how difficult it probably is with COVID and how much less time you guys are able to spend together as a group in the gym and all that kind of stuff. Has that made it more difficult for you to kind of really find a consistency level, do you think?
Sure. I would kind of categorize that as like an easy way out, like an excuse almost. So I wouldn't blame anything on on that because I think everyone's circumstance is the same right now. It's not like we have a different regiment than someone else. So I wouldn't. It could be, but I don't want to give that reason any credit.
Thank you.
Hey Jake, I have a follow-up. Was talking to some of the guys a couple weeks ago, and they said that they got a Nintendo Switch for the team, and they've been playing games on it. Have you been playing with them, and are you any good?
Yes, I played. No, I'm not that good, but I got a lot better really fast.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Jake.
Jake, thanks for your time. We'll let Jake go and then bring Coach Underwood in here.